All right, people. So today this is what we are going to do. We are going to design a picture slideshow templates for either a birthday or wedding or just any kind of anniversary. All right. So let's not waste our time. Okay. With our After Effects open, let's just create a new composition. All right. So let's create a new composition and name it this first composition main. Then select HD. Right, HD. Okay. All right. So after creating our main composition, we have to create one for the pictures. All right. So let's create a composition for the pictures too. So we click new composition, or we go to composition, new. Now let's name it first. Then let's name it picture 1. Picture 1. Then we click OK. All right. Now let's load our pictures. Let's import the picture files. Let's see. So I have a couple of pictures here. Let me just select them. Okay. All right. So now with our pictures imported into the After Effects, let me see. Okay. So let's drop a picture into the first picture com. Okay, so I have a picture here. Let me scale it to fit. Scale it up. Okay, somewhere here is good. Then let me bring it down. Okay, so I love it where it is now. All right. So after this, I'll create a new solid layer. Right clicking, new solid layer. Okay. Then you go and select the rectangle tool. Then you come and draw a rectangle on your image. Okay, what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create a frame within which the picture is in. Okay, so after drawing the rectangle on the image, on the solid layer, you just have to come to the masking tool. Then you change from add to subtract. Okay, all right, then you have something like this. So at this point, if you want to write something underneath here, you can still write something like this. Now that we have our first picture composition, all that we have to do is to duplicate that picture composition. Okay, so we will come to our browser here, then click on the picture 1, then hold the Control D. Okay, then duplicate it a couple of times. So maybe 10 times. 10 times. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Okay, that's 11. Let me delete the 11th one. So 10 is okay. So I'll open all the comps. Double click to open all of them. Just double click on each of the composition to open them. Okay. Okay, what I'll do next is just to select the next image from the browser and drop it in. Okay. What you need to know is this: if the images were of the same sizes, I would have just select this image, then hold the Alt key, then drop it on it. But in this case, they are of not the same sizes. That's why I just have to select them one by one and drop them in. Okay, so let me just clear this one, then hit S to scale it up. I'll just have to scale it to fit. Okay, then let me drag it down. Okay, so let me leave it somewhere here. Okay, so I have something like this. Let me come to the next picture. The next picture, let me just drop this one to in. Scale it a bit. Move it down a bit. Picture 4. Let me drop this one here. Let me scale this one also up. Okay. So you continue doing this till you replace all the images in your picture comps. Okay. All right. So let me just rush through this and then. All right. So after replacing all the images in our picture composition, we just have to close them. Okay. So let's just quickly close this. So now we are left with the main composition. Okay, so now let's create another composition and name it transition. Okay, transition 1. And let's make it also HD size. Then click OK. All right. So after that, what you are going to do is now we are going to arrange our picture composition inside the transition. So the first transition, which is the transition 1, let's select maybe 5 images. So 1 to 5 here from the browser, then drop them inside. Okay, so after bringing the 5 images inside the transition comp, you have to make them all 3D. Okay, so you on the 3D draft beside it, okay, to make it 3D. All right, now right click inside your layer column, then select, go to new, then select null objects. Okay, after bringing the null objects, make it also 3D, then rename the null object to control, then hit enter. All right, now what you are going to do next is to select all the pictures and click on the pick whip beside the pictures and map it to the control. You see that once I drag it there, there's a line being drawn indicating that it has been mapped. Okay, so once I release it, all the pictures are under the control of the null object. Okay, the null object that I rename as control. So wherever the null object goes, the pictures follow, you see. So let's come to effects and presets and type effects and presets and type separate XYZ position. There you have it. Okay, then you click and drag onto the control. Now let's set some animations. So first let's go Z position so that we will rearrange the images. Okay, so after going like this, let's switch the view from view 1 view to what, 4 view left. Okay, so we have something like this, and this is our picture image. So picture 5, which is the last one, we are going to move it backwards. We stand on Z, then move it backwards. Okay, then stand on 4, picture 4, move it backwards. 3, move it backwards. So from here, let's switch back to 1 view. Okay, so now at this point, you can just displace the image anyhow you want, disorderly. All right, so picture 1, let's scale it a bit. Let's scale it up. Then rotate it a bit. Rotate it a bit. Okay. Picture 4. Let's rotate it also a bit. So rotation. Let's rotate it a bit. Picture 3. Let's rotate that one too. Let me go this way. Then picture 2. Let's rotate that one too. Okay, so we have something like this. All right, let me select all the images. Then, okay, if the images are not enough, you can still add up. So you hold this one, Control D, the 4th one, then rotate it. Okay, rotate it. Then move it upwards somewhere here. You can try your distance and see how it's coming along by moving the X, you see. If you see that no, the arrangement is not what you want, you just go, let me see, 4, go, push it backwards again. Okay, just play around with it at this point. Okay, right? You don't have to be scared. Just be displacing all the images you have within. Okay, add it, displace, just like that. So let me quickly rearrange this in, then head back to it. All right, so after you have finished arranging your images the way you want, all that you have to do next is to select the picture 1, then you right click on it, come to layer style, then click on drop shadow. Okay, then you come inside the drop shadow to work on it more. Then you increase the size of the shadow a bit to something like 100. Okay, 100 is okay. 100 is okay. All right. Then you click on drop shadow. Then you copy it. All right. So after copying the drop shadow, select the rest of the picture comps. All right. Then go to edit. Then paste it so that the drop shadow will affect the rest too. Okay. All right. So after this, the next thing to do is introduce an adjustments layer. So we right click in, new, adjustments layer. Okay, Then we select the adjustment layer and place it under the picture 1. All right. Then you come to effect and type black and white. Black and white. There it is, color correction, black and white. Okay, you double click to apply the effect. Okay, a Gaussian blur, okay, then give it something like 20, 15. Okay, so let me leave it like this. Okay, so we have this. All right. So now the next thing we are going to do now is to animate. So we select our control, then hit E to bring out the separate XYZ position, which we are going to use to animate. So we move our timeline forward, then we move the entire image to the right side so that everything will disappear. Okay. All right. Then we set a key on all of them, the XYZ. All right. Then you move the timeline to something like 2 seconds. Then you come to something like a negative figure or a lower figure. Let me see. No, let me just go back a bit. Okay. Okay, I want, when it reaches this point, it stops. Then the rest, it will be moving gradually. Okay. So I'll stop somewhere here. Okay. So 210 is okay. All right. Let's set a key to this ones too. Then move it to something like 9 seconds. Then continue moving it gradually. So I reach somewhere here. Okay. Then move the timeline. After setting it, set the key for the rest too. So that they will be close. Other than that, you might end up mistaking it and setting the key somewhere else. You move the key to something like 11 seconds. Then off, they disappear. Okay, you let them go away from the stage, then disappear. All right. Okay, so everything will disappear. Okay, so after setting the key, let's see what we have. All right. So you see the image come in, then slowly moving to the left side. There, it goes away. All right. So now after this, select all the keyframes, then press F9 or right click on the keys, then go and select keyframe assistant, easy ease. Okay, so that the movement will be smoother. Now let's see how smooth it is. It comes in slowly. Then it goes away. All right. Okay, now the next thing that maybe I would decide to add to what I have here is maybe add some color. Despite the black and white, let me throw in a bit of color to it. So let me see. Hue and saturation. So let me throw some hue and saturation into the adjustment layer. Then you come to its attributes here, then select colorize. Then let me see, let me change the color to something like a bluish. Okay, I think this is okay. Should it be too deep? Okay, so something like this. Let me go something like 20. The colorize saturation to something like 20 and see. So it's okay. So I have something like this. So let me leave it like this. Let's come to our browser window here. Let me come here. So now, all that I have to do now is to swap the image. You see that when you see inside our com, you have some of the pictures being repeated here because I duplicated them. Okay. So all that I have to do is to just select those particular image, hold the Alt key, then go to the browser and select any of the picture composition, then hold the Alt key, then drop them onto it. Now we have to create a second transition. So we will select our first transition in the browser window, then hold the Ctrl D to duplicate, double click on the transition tool to open it up. Then we select the control, which is the null object. Then hit E to bring out the effects. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is we want the second transition to come in like how the first one came in, but the ending, we want the ending to go upwards instead of it going to the left side. So we will come to where the last one ended and delete the last key on X position. Okay. Then come to the Y position, then move the images up. Okay. Move all the images up so that everything will disappear. Okay, now let's see what we have here. All right, let's see. The images come in, then be moving gradually, then all of them goes up. All right, nice. Okay, now let's duplicate the transition 2. So we come to our browser window, then duplicate the transition 2. Okay, then double click to open it. All right. Okay, we are going to clear our beginning. So we come here, then delete all the key points in front here, then come to Y. All right. Then we move the images downwards. So now, how should the end of transition 3 be? I want to zoom out. Okay, so I'll delete the Y, the ending, which is the Y, the thing going up. Then use the Z radar so that it will zoom in. Okay, so I'll zoom in, then maybe move the image this side, then go up, then zoom in again, then go up, then it disappears. Okay, so you have something like this. Let's see. Okay, see that the images came from the bottom. Okay, then we're moving gradually, then they will zoom in. The next thing we are going to do now is to duplicate transition 3 to have transition 4. Okay, so let's double click and open transition 4. Now let's open the control. Let's hit E to open the control effects. Then this one, like how the transition 3 ended by zooming in, this one will also zoom in. But in this case, we are going to zoom out on this one. So this one will start small from far away, then come towards us. Okay, so something like this. Okay, something like this, then come towards us. All right. Okay, then the ending. Okay, let's make the ending comes down. Okay, let's not go that far since we are going to end it there. So let's make the ending. We stand on Y, then bring the images down so that we show just a blurred image, then write something on it. Okay, so something like this is okay. Then leave the rest there so that we can write something on it. All right. Okay, so now let's come to our main. The main. So now that we are in our main, let's select the transition 1 to 4, then drag them inside our main composition. All right. Then this is enough. So let me just throw this thing all away. So transition 1. Okay. So transition 2 will follow. Transition 2 will follow. Okay. So we have something like this. And transition 3 will follow transition 2 also. You see where it, whilst it's going, the transition 3 is also coming. Okay. It looks like the timeline is not enough. So let me make it something like 40. 40. Okay. Now let's come to somewhere like transition 3 ending. Now let's see what we have here first. Let's play it and see what we have. Okay, so we have something like this. Let's see the arrangement so far. Okay, comes in slowly. Okay, see the next one. This is transition 2. Now let's see transition 3 too. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's see transition 4. Transition 4. All right, folks. This will be the end of our first part. And in our second part, we will do the magnifying glass. So subscribe, like, and comment. See you.